Hi, I've been visiting many interesting and exciting locations all over the world that make up the LEGO Group. And today, our All Access Passport is going to take us all the way to the rocky East Coast of America, to the home of my personal favorite sports team, the Red Sox. Capital of the Bay State, arguably the cultural center of New England, Boston, Massachusetts. Hello, and welcome to a new episode of Live Behind the Bricks. I'm Jake Blaze. I'm the creative lead for Learning Through Play here at the LEGO Group. I'm super excited to see so many of you online for today's session. I know that some of you will be watching this as a replay, so our usual warm LEGO welcome wherever and whenever you're tuning in. Today, we're going to be meeting with some of my actual LEGO colleagues from our hub in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm going to be asking loads of questions to find out what they do there, how they do it, and how they apply play to their everyday work. But not all of the questions are coming from me. You can ask questions too at any time. Please drop them into the chat or the Q&A function. That's that little box with the question mark. And my amazing producers behind the scenes will send them along. If we don't get to it in the call, don't worry. We will try to answer all of your questions after the call, maybe in the next day or so. So let's get started. Through the magic of modern podcasting technology, my amazing LEGO colleagues will now join the screen. In 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody, it worked. Fantastic. All right. I'd love to do a round where we introduce ourselves. I'd like you to say your name, what your job is, and if you're not from the Boston area, where you're originally from. You can also say that you're from Boston. That's fine. If you're online, I can see a lot of you are already doing that, tuning in and telling us about where you're from. So go ahead and drop that into the chat so we know who's on and where you're calling in from. So let's start. Let's start with Shannon.
Hi, I'm Shannon Blaney Curran. I am the head of our regional commercial development organization in the Americas, and I am born and raised in Massachusetts.
Oh, fantastic. Nice to meet you. Essence, you seem to be the next one on that side.
Hi, Jake. I am Essence Lee Souffrant. I am a senior marketing manager sitting in the Global Shopper Marketing Communications team, which is part of our larger LEGO in-house creative agency. I've lived in Boston for the past 14 years, but I'm actually originally from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Oh, lovely. I'm a huge Cajun food fan, so sometime we have to talk about that. Harold.
Hi, pleasure to talk to you, Jake. So I'm Harold. I am the manager of loss prevention for the Americas. I support LEGO brand retail. And I am originally from Los Angeles, been in New England for the last 24 years.
Cool. Nice to meet you. And Lisa.
Hi, Jake. Nice to see you again. I'm Lisa Alberto Calma. I'm the onboarding manager here in Boston. And what that means is I roll out the red carpet for all new joiners here in the Boston office. Really excited to be here. I'm originally born and raised from Connecticut. And yes, I do commute to Boston.
Wow. All right. That's a long drive down the Mass Pike, I think.
Yes.
Dave.
Hey, Jake, thanks for having me. I sit on the global marketing team for LEGO Education, and I lead impact storytelling strategy. That's the best job in the world. I live about an hour south of Boston, right at the base of the Sagamore Bridge to Cape Cod.
Oh, lovely. All right. Nice to get out there to the Cape, but not so great on with the traffic at the Cape on summer days, right? Summer weekends, I guess. All right, let's get started. So I guess some of you are calling in from home, but some of you are actually in the offices. Are you in? I guess we're going to have a new office. Are you in the new office?
Home today.
Yeah.
All right. So some of us are from home. Some of us are in one of the offices. We have some different offices there right now because we're just getting started in Boston, right? About to open up a new office. Can we talk a little bit about what are the current working conditions like and what are the new office conditions expected to be?
Sure, I can take that one. So we currently are working out of two locations in Boston. So one is our Lego Education office on Boylston Street, and then another temporary office located on St. James. And then we also have many colleagues who are still working out of our Enfield hub that will eventually move when we all come together in May of next year at 1001 Boylston in the brand new facility that we're all super excited and can't wait to go be a part of.
That sounds amazing. I actually got my start, fun fact, got my start in the Lego group in our Enfield office. So, and now that has taken me all the way to Bill in Denmark, but that's where I got my start. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe some of you who have been or seen or know a little bit about what we're going to expect in that Boylston Street office? What will it be like?
Well, Jake, you did say you like the Red Sox, and I will call out that from what I hear, the balconies that they're going to have off these offices, be able to look right into Fenway, maybe catch a Sox game during the day.
That sounds amazing. Lisa, you were going to say.
There are posters or pictures of what the new office is going to look like around our offices. So it gets all of the employees really excited of what to expect and, what the floor plan will be. But it is a brand new building that's being built. And we're also excited to just move in, by Q2 next year.
That is very exciting. What do you have any advice? One of the first questions that we're getting is what kind of advice would you maybe have for some new joiners who are looking to come to the Boston area or looking to join us in Boston?
My advice would be do it.
How about what's the process like? How do I try to get a job? You each have different, very, very different roles, right? Different. You work in different parts of the organization. Tell me what it's like to come into your part of the organization. Let's start with Harold.
For me, it was very interesting because my role is brand new. So I was brought on board to start this program. Honestly, interestingly enough, my very first conversation was with Lisa. And, I was at a place and I was happy, and I got a chance to speak with her, and she told me all of the great things about the company. And I went for a full head, and it was, it's just a lot of fun. And I guess go for it. As Shannon said, just do it. And then kind of when you come in for that first conversation, be yourself.
So you're relatively new in the organization, Harold. How long have you been in
about a year and a half at this point.
A year and a half. Okay. Well, welcome, new joiner.
Thank you.
Maybe actually, if each of you would just tell us how long you've been in when you take this question on. Lisa, would you go next?
Sure. In January will be 6 years. I started off in Enfield, Connecticut. And when they made the announcement that Boston's going to be the new America's hub, I was a little nervous at first because I didn't know what to expect, and I just knew that Boston seemed so far away with being about 2 hours away. But I've never worked in a city before, and I was really, really excited. And Shannon, just like what you said, just go for it. And I went for it, and I don't have any regrets. I love being in the office, just the vibe, and being in the city. There's so much to do, so many places to eat and drink coffee. So far, I'm having a lot of fun.
Nice. City life is agreeing. That's fantastic. Who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Yes, thank you.
So I've been with the Lego Group for just right at a year and a half. And to answer your first question, I think it's important for prospective candidates to look at maybe non-traditional ways to join the organization. So when I started a year and a half ago, I came in as a maternity cover. It was a full-time temporary role covering someone's position while they were out on leave because they had a new baby. And I will say that was my first time ever taking on a role. in that way. But quickly, once I joined the organization, I saw that there are a number of temporary workers across the organization globally. And it is a part of the culture for people to not necessarily be full-time permanent, but they could be full-time temporary. While I was a temporary employee, I had the opportunity to be a part of the amazing America's digital marketing team. And I took on two different roles. So initially, I led social strategy for the Americas. And then eventually, I took on another role where I was leading paid media strategy for the Americas as well. So, while being a temporary employee, I took on two different roles. I worked cross-functionally across different teams and partners, which it allowed me to learn so much and get really connected within the organization. So when I started within the Global Shopper Marketing Agency 6 months ago, I already had tons of relationships that I was able to leverage. And it made onboarding so much quicker, right? When you're already in the system. So I would encourage prospective candidates to consider some non-traditional ways to join the company.
That is fantastic. Thank you for sharing that, Essence, and welcome, because it's been just a year and a half for you as well. It's interesting to me that you mentioned that you came in as a basically on a contract, and then you sort of moved into different roles. Was there sort of a development journey along the lines there, or what was it? Just you saw a role and you applied for it once you were in? How did that work?
Yeah, so when I joined, I did express interest in wanting to become full-time permanent when I joined, right? And I started to have conversations with people within the organization. My manager at the time, she was very supportive of that. And we actually created an IDP that was aligned with me having opportunities where I could connect with other people within the organization. Throughout the time when I started to apply for positions, I didn't necessarily get the first one. I ended up getting probably maybe the third role that I applied for, but I will tell you, Jake, that it was the best role for me. It was a combination of, what I did in the past, some skill sets that I desired and aspired to tap back into. So I'm a believer of, everything works out, right? Even within the Lego system, where you're supposed to be, you net out in the right place every time.
That's fantastic. Good to hear that. I'm glad. Can we maybe ask Dave, what's your experience like coming into the Lego Group? How long have you been in, and tell us a little bit about what the process is like getting into your part of the organization.
Well, it's nice to hear that the process hasn't changed much. I've been here for going on 6 years now. I'm about 5.5, a little more than 5.5 years in. And I would fully echo what Essence said. That for me, I looked at some roles. I really knew that I wanted to work specifically for Lego Education. I'm super passionate about education in general, and I also happen to be really passionate about the Lego brand. So that, the two things together were very enticing. And similar to Essence, I also applied for more than one job. I think the current role that I had, the role that I was hired into, was the third one that I had applied for. And what was really encouraging and heartening in terms of the process is that throughout the process, the more conversations we had, they actually changed the role to fit me as a person better. So when I came in and I was hired, that role was a different one really than what had been listed when I applied, new title, everything. And it was just really encouraging and really cool. I would definitely echo Harold as well. Just be the most authentic version of yourself when you're making contact with Lego, and don't stifle your passion for the brand. We all appreciate that here. We know that that's part of the draw, and we're as excited to talk about it as you are. So I would definitely bring that passion with you, and yeah, just be willing to broaden what you're willing to look at and what you're willing to apply for. Be open to new experience.
Oh, I totally agree with that. You mentioned some soft skills in there, and Shannon, maybe when you tell us about your experience, you can talk a little bit about those soft skills that we look for when we bring people into the Lego Group.
Sure. So I've been here for a little bit over a year. I've had a wonderful experience coming in. I would say I'll come at it from a different angle, which is, I came in kind of with these preconceived notions of what the culture was going to be like, and fun and imaginative. And, as you can see from a lot of our backgrounds, fully, full of color, and clearly with like kids at the center of everything that we do. And I didn't know it was possible to be surprised that it was even better than I anticipated. And so I would just say that to those who are looking for roles here, that as we're making our move to Boston, I would set up all of your LinkedIn notifications, because there are things that are popping up all the time. So anything that you're curious about, I would say, when I say go for it, it's, don't hesitate. We tend to get a lot of applications for the roles, but as you've seen through other people that are on here, including myself, when the right role pops, it makes sense. And I've done some hiring since coming on board as well. So I guess I would say in terms of soft skills, we're fundamentally looking for people who are curious. We love curious people who ask really good questions. So I would make sure that, that's a part of any application for a job that you have. And we're looking for people who are going to have sort of like an execution mindset, but doing it in sort of like a fun and wonderful way. One of the things that I look for a lot of times is, because we're such a flat organization, and people oftentimes will kind of play in spaces that are not necessarily like in your role description, the ability to sort of operate autonomously in ambiguity and kind of feeling safe and happy in that space, and knowing that things kind of like change and evolve over time, I think is something that people can showcase when they're looking into opportunities in the company.
I think it's really interesting that you mentioned that we're kind of a flat organization. I think that's very special to how we work in the LEGO Group. And you certainly feel it here in Denmark, and that's part of the culture, is that there's very little hierarchy. Can you tell us a little bit about what is that like in Boston and working in the States for the LEGO Group? I mean, do you really feel that that hierarchy is flat, and how does that play out for you? Maybe Harold, you could start us off.
I definitely feel that lack of hierarchy. I can walk across the room and have conversations with a variety of people, and their role never come up. It's all a matter of how can we support each other? What do you need? How can I help you kind of get across the finish line or achieve a goal? And I think there's something really refreshing about that. I'll lean in on people kind of on their expertise, but it's because of their expertise, not because of the role that they carry.
Great. Anyone else want to take that one?
I'll take that. I think it's, even when you just walk around the office, you just see a lot of people just like to collaborate with one another. Even with leadership, there's a sense of, you could approach them, right? And it's you're always welcome to do so. No one's ever afraid to ask any questions, especially when we have town hall meetings and so forth. I think people just are generally, genuinely approachable in the office. And it doesn't even matter what level they're at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll jump in.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, I agree with that idea that it really is just we're a bunch of humans all on one team, and where, everybody is approachable. I've worked across teams within the LEGO Education business unit that are here, that are international. I've worked with teams on the LEGO retail side of things, and never felt any kind of hesitation on my part to reach out to whatever individual might be the best one to help me with the project.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk a little bit about your individual areas. And so we can kind of get to know a little bit more about the kinds of functions that we see in Boston. Shannon, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. So I lead our commercial development organization, which everybody on here will be biased that they work in the best part of the company. But I love that I get to sit at sort of the intersection of strategy and execution. So I like having a job where every day looks a little bit different, and having the ability to, in one case, kind of trying to influence the future strategic direction of the company, but then also how do we take those plans and amplify them in the Americas market specifically? So it's great to kind of be able to use, both sides of your brain, if you will, and do that. And I have a vast group underneath me that works on things like net revenue management and portfolio strategy and channel strategy. So lots of interesting work happening.
Cool. David, can I tap you next for that? So what is it like in education?
Lego Education is really unique, and it's an awesome part of the organization to be a part of. So we really are the front lines in the Lego Group's mission to become a global force for learning through play. And the really cool thing about what we do is we get to provide access to Lego learning experiences to kids who might not otherwise have, right? Because in a public school system, you have a really diverse population of students, and not all of them have Lego sets at home. Not all of them have the ability to go out and purchase a Lego set. So the fact that they get to interact with them in a school setting, that's excellent, and that's really exciting. But on top of that, we're setting these up to be really meaningful learning experiences that help them, achieve academic success and find their place in the learning. So kids who go to school and think, I couldn't be a scientist, I couldn't be an engineer. When we get them hands-on and give them an alternative way to express their understanding, all of a sudden they're going, wait a minute, science is for me, math is for me. I'm not over here in the corner. I'm in it and I'm part of it. So that's in my section of the world, and especially with impact storytelling, I get to spend all my days talking to those people and telling those stories, and that's what I love.
Because you're in Lego Education and you mentioned engineering, I just want to call it out. Do you have engineers in Lego Education?
On the Billings side, the folks who develop the platforms that our tech solutions work on, as well as the model designers and stuff like that, many of them have engineering backgrounds. We have a lot of computer engineers, folks who are in that area. Not so much with the mechanical engineers or the ones who are on the operations side of the business, but we do have. It's the right background to come with if you want to create really cool STEAM learning experiences.
So we do have some engineering roles, but not necessarily in Boston in education. Okay. Essence, would you like to take the conversation forward in terms of two things I wanted to pick up with on what David said, which was learning through play was the first. How does that come out in your role and what you're doing? And then also in that part of the group, what types of opportunities do we see? Because there are people asking very specific questions online, like, do I need an education? What kind of education do I need? Or do I need an engineering degree? Or what kind of languages do I need? So if you could just tell a little bit about the types of people that you see coming into your part of the organization. And then also I'd love to hear about how learning through play fits into your work.
Yeah, so to Shannon's point, I do believe that I work for the most amazing team at the Lego Group, which is a team of creatives, so writers, designers, producers, project managers, account managers. Together, we work together in partnership to deliver, create, concept, and develop every experience that you see within a Lego retail store. So from the local store in the mall, or maybe a flagship store in New York or Paris, or even a Lego retail store within an airport. The team that I work on, we produce all of the signage, all of the brick models. We have a hand in coming up with the different play experiences that really drive that unique one-to-one experience for shoppers in real life, right? Because a lot of times we talk about the brick, but the true nature of the brick is through experiencing it through play within a Lego ecosystem. So the beauty in the work that we get to do and create is that it is truly that hands-on experience that you can pick up and participate in at any moment in the journey, no matter where you are. So I think that's the big moment. And at a number of the Lego retail stores, we have workshops and creative play activations and activities for both kids and adults. And so it's almost that opportunity to build and play outside of, the 9 to 5 school day, right? So when kids are in school, they're learning through play through David's world. But for the Lego branded channels, it gives kids and families that opportunity to together begin to experience the brick and what it means to the day-to-day life in real time. And that's the beauty in what I work on. I also work with a team of digital designers and digital creators who create and develop for Lego.com as well. So again, it's another opportunity. Let's say you don't live near a Lego retail store. You can go online and still have a very rich experience for your kids and families to experience the brick and learn through play online.
Mm-hmm. Great. Fantastic answer. Thank you. Harold, can I ask you about your role? You said yours is a pretty much a new role, which was created right when you came in. How has that part of the organization grown, or is it growing, or what do you see coming in the future? And can you tell us a little bit about what that means, maybe in connection to what Essence was talking about with Lego Brand Retail?
Yeah, it's yes, the role in and of itself is an indication of the growth within the retail branch. We're continuously opening new stores in an environment where kind of brick and mortar retail, kind of you can ask some questions about whether it's growing or declining. And you take a look at the things that are happening in the retail world and the retail landscape, and exciting for me to be able to be a part of starting a program to ensure that we minimize kind of those interactions in stores, so that way when the guest walks in the door, the employees can be focused on that great experience for every person that walks through, from that child to that grandparent to that adult lover of the brand and of our product, and really just ensure that we're giving them the best experience possible, right? So it starts kind of with the education and kind of how can we get them involved and get them kind of loving the brand and what we do, and then we get them into our retail locations and really try to ensure that we enhance that and continue to grow that. And I think that it's me being able to support the people in our stores who are, bar none, some of the best retail people I've ever worked with. I mean, the passion they have in the stores and the passion they have for the brand and what they do is so refreshing and so just genuine, that my ability to support them and kind of ensure that they can focus on what's really important, and that's our guests, is I don't know, for me it's fun, and that's right get to play, knowing that I can have conversations with these folks and that they want a thing, and then I have the freedom to go back to the table and try to create that thing, and then have conversations about pros and cons. Just the fluidity of it all is really kind of why I wake up every single day and come to the office.
Mm-hmm. I love that you said that's where I get to play. And actually now I can start to see there's a lot of questions coming in about how we play. So maybe, Lisa, if you could tell us a little bit about what is it like for someone who comes into the Lego group, and what's their journey like when they arrive, and how do we kind of guide them along on this sort of, we could call it a path of playful working?
Perfect question for me, as I'm the onboarding manager at the Lego Group, and it's also a new role. I work very closely with a team of amazing recruiters, and everything really starts from the pre-boarding, right? Getting everyone set up behind the scenes, and getting all the new joiners ramped up and excited about their first day. And first day jitters are real. Right. And I do my best, show that smile and really welcome them on their first day. We put them through different orientations, introduce them to as many people as possible. But one of my favorite things that I'd like to do with all new joiners is to have a play activity, because I think that's very important. Really, because make sure that they know that every single day we need to be able to touch the brick, right? Be able to play with it, build. That really just like ramps up their creativity, their imagination, but also, it's like be a kid again, right? And have a lot of fun. So that's probably one of the first things that I try to introduce all new joiners. It's to play. And there are a variety of other play activities that we do at the LEGO Group. We encourage it amongst our teams. We have people go through different training sessions around play. You could become play agent certified. I'm a certified play hero, where I could train people, new hires, anyone who wants to be a play agent, the philosophy, and really introduce them what the philosophy of play, and be able to tell a story using our bricks. So I think play, even if you go into any of our conference rooms, there's always a bowl of bricks somewhere. So instead of doodling, you're building, and we encourage that.
Oh, look at that. Fantastic. I love everybody has built. I have for my book. That's great. Oh, there's a wonderful question on here that I want to get to, and maybe we can each have a chance to answer it. It says, I feel LEGO is known for innovative and fun ideas. In your careers, how have you felt that the LEGO culture supports this ability to foster new ideas and have them considered for further development? I think, not all of us are sort of contributing necessarily to the design of products, but there is something in this and how we're sort of encouraged to be creative and innovative in our roles. And I'd like to take it from that angle, if you wouldn't mind answering that. Who can I tap to kick that one off?
I can jump in.
For it. Thank you for jumping in.
Of course. So with LEGO Education, there's always a certain level of innovation that runs as an undercurrent for us. We're always thinking about how can we reimagine the learning experience for kids? How can we make it more impactful? And what can we do to reach more students? So there's always that level. Personally, an example of innovation in my time here would be a couple of years ago, I sat with one of my team members on the brand team here at LEGO Education, and we said, wouldn't it be cool if we put together an animated learning series with minifigures that included NASA astronauts and scientists and taught kids about careers in STEAM? And then fast forward a few months later, I am doing an interview with astronauts who are on the International Space Station. We're getting our own downlink. There are 2 minifigures that went on the Artemis rocket to the moon. And we had this 10-episode series. I got to write for astronauts on a daily basis, and all because we thought of this idea. We weren't afraid to pitch something that was big and new and fresh, and the merit was there. I mean, if you can, one thing I will say for the LEGO Group is if you can make a solid business case and you can say, here's how we're going to have real impact in different ways, then most people here are very open to seeing how we can make that happen.
Nice. Anyone else want to tackle that one?
I think I can jump in to build on what Dave just talked about. When I joined the organization a year and a half ago, I had an opportunity before I became permanent to really begin to look at the company from the inside out, right? And continue to interview the organization while I was inside the walls. And one of the things that I quickly saw and picked up on was the true test and learn environment that is native to every project, every team at any moment in time. And a lot of companies, they use, the buzzword test and learn, but they actually don't take the learnings and begin to apply them. But I will say the LEGO Group is completely different. We test a lot, we learn a lot, and we're applying it on a regular basis to every project, to every team. I will say it's definitely ingrained in the culture. And I think another thing that I wanted to mention as well is because I sit within a team that supports the Lego retail in-store experience, I also get the opportunity to work very closely with a number of people who sit in billing, whose main focus is developing strategies around play and innovation within the retail experience. And I will tell you, I think for the first time ever in life, I never really thought about the science of play. So there's a team of people constantly looking at play patterns, how kids play, the duration of play, the different types of tools and systems that they use to play with. And as a team, we're constantly figuring out ways to build and add that to our branded experience. So I think those are just some examples of what's happening within the four walls as it relates to play and innovation and how it really comes to life on a day-to-day basis.
Nice, great examples. Thank you. Shannon, do you have an experience where you in your team are also kind of taking in or coming up, innovating in some ways and bringing that out, whether it's out to our outside of the Lego group or if it is helping to develop inside?
Well, I think the great part about where our team sits is we have a lot of interaction with our retail partners. And so I think it's a great space for us to also learn from things that they're seeing in the marketplace and to be able to work together to ensure that the innovation and the things that we have coming down the pipeline are going to be meaningful for our consumers and something that kids are going to find a lot of joy in playing with. And then also our adult fans and sort of the ear to the ground that they have on their side as well as ours. So it's a great partnership to be able to have those continuous conversations on where we choose to spend our energy in the future.
Nice. I'm glad you mentioned adult fans. I mean, we're all adults here, and well, I'm not, but you might be an adult. We are in many cases we're also fans of the business. Just really quick round. What is your favorite or most recent set that you built?
Botanicals will always be my favorite. So I have a ton of them. I see it above me and throughout my house. I think the one I'm working on right now is the rose bouquet. That's my favorite one.
Nice.
I will say, as a mom of two girls, the Friends sets are definitely our favorite. I love the diversity in skin tones and hair that come to life within those sets, and they really, really resonate with my little girls. So that's definitely the top tier theme in our household.
My youngest daughter really loves to build, and I love to build with her. In my most recent set, my wife loves Jeeps, like Jeep Wranglers. So we built the Jeep Wrangler together, and now she's in the process of painting it purple so that my wife can have her purple Jeep.
Wow. Oh, that's cool. I don't know if our design team condones painting the bricks, but David,
I'm a giant nerd, so I love my wife and I are both big Lord of the Rings fans. So we got the Rivendell set, and that was an unbelievably fun build. And then we're about 2/3 of the way through the Barad-dûr giant tower as well. And I got 3 little boys, so there are Lego sets all over my house from every theme you can imagine.
That is a big one. That the Rivendell set. Nice.
I would say my favorite build so far has been Pac-Man, just based on the interactivity of it and the fun of it. My first set that I built when I joined the company was the typewriter, which was also a fun build. And I'd say most recently, not my own personal build, but my daughter did the Milky Way galaxy, and that is such a fun, cool, just seeing all the little Easter eggs and the components that are in there. It's really impressive. Hasn't made it on the wall yet.
I just got the Milky Way set myself, and I haven't built it yet, but I'm it's there, calling my name. So I'll get started on that soon. There's a lot of questions here in the chat about the types of jobs that we have in Boston. So it could be nice, maybe Lisa, if I could tap you on the shoulder for that one, to talk a little bit about what types of roles do we have in Boston, and what might people expect in the process of applying for those roles.
So all of our roles are always posted. You could see them on lego.com, also on LinkedIn as well. Most of the roles that we see that are coming through are lots of sales, marketing. We have, of course, throughout Lego education, whether it be like also in sales and in marketing, but we do have retail as well, e-com. We do have a new play engineering team that they're building out. So they're also looking for a team of engineers. But I don't know, everyone, I don't know, am I missing anything else? Communications. We also have our Lego agency that is in-house agency that we have here in Boston as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to build on. The Lego agency hiring, is exploding. They're always adding new roles to the team. So if you are a writer, if you're a designer, if you're an animator, if you have the ability to tell stories creatively, whether it's print or digital, definitely keep your eyes out for roles that might pop up on LinkedIn or online for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I see some questions coming about internships too. Do we offer internships in Boston?
Typically, we don't. We don't have a program right now. Hopefully, I don't know what the future will bring us, but we don't. I mean, we may have some summer roles, but it's very limited.
Mm-hmm. I have seen student internships in other locations. I know in Denmark, we have, especially in our design program, there's an internship that's worth looking into. They hire, I think, twice a year, a batch of design interns. And there are in some of the other locations internships. So I hope if we don't have one in Boston, that there is something sort of in the works that could be great. There was a question on here about, I think maybe we'd just get into what the culture is like in Boston in our last few minutes here, because a lot of people are curious about what is it actually like in the Boston office, or work, maybe your everyday work culture. We could talk a bit about that. So maybe what is specific to your region? Is there a way of celebrating or traditions that you might have in your office that you want to share with us?
Can I tell you what one we just had yesterday? Really fun Halloween event, and it was awesome. And this is why I'm wearing my ears. Everyone in the office from both temporary locations, we all got together. It was great to just see people get dressed up, have fun. It was probably one of the better events that we had in the office, but just to see a lot of people laughing, enjoying each other's company. We do have a variety of events that we do celebrate, through our Spirit Committee, through our community builders teams, through local community engagement, as well as our inclusion networks. So we do celebrate a variety of events in the office, and just really brings the fun in what we do, and bring us all together.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say we're building new traditions, because what you'd find is there's a lot of people who are either new to the area, new to the company. So there's definitely been a lot of fun ways of exploring the local market. So there have been videos created on different places to go to eat. We've had pizza wars where we have lunches and try different pizza places. And so I think that there's definitely something where we're trying to bring the fun to Boston being a brand new experience for many people in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and I will say I've enjoyed the, lunchtime events or afternoon gatherings the most. I love and appreciate that it's, the cultural moments and holidays, but it's also an opportunity for us to understand and get to learn more across the organization. So, for example, one lunch, we all had an opportunity to build Lego robots with one of the Lego education products. And to be honest, I had never explored any of that at all to date. It was actually something that my daughter has talked about because she does a lot of coding in school with Lego Brick, but it wasn't something that I had the opportunity to engage in until one afternoon at work, during one of our lunch events. The Lego education team took us through a few scenarios where we had the opportunity to literally in real time build robots. It was
Oh, that's
amazing. So yeah, so
wow.
that's the part that I appreciate. It's the cultural moments, it's the holidays, it's all the things that might be happening in our larger cultural climate, but it's also just also getting to know the organization a bit better as well. I really, really, really appreciate that.
That's fantastic to hear. I have to stop us there because we're out of time. Actually, we've gone a little bit over time, but I just wonder if we could just say the two words. What are the two words that are most important to you about your career at the Lego Group? Starting with you, Shannon.
I would say fun and creativity.
Fun and creativity. Fantastic. Harold.
I would say absolutely amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Love it. Lisa.
I was going to say be brave and have fun.
Love it. Dave.
I'm going to go with learning and passion.
Excellent. And we'll finish up with you, Essence.
So I actually have four words. So fresh and innovative, but also cool mom. And that goes a long way.
Oh, nice. Yes, I definitely feel that cool parent effect. Thank you all. You were fantastic guests, and I'm sorry we didn't get to every single question that was asked. We do have actually another Boston episode coming up, and if you missed anything in this one and you're still curious about our Boston location, you can check out that episode. Any questions that you've asked in the chat or in the Q&A, our team will try to get to while we're, after the show. The show has been recorded, so if you joined us late and you missed anything, you can watch the replay. Our next stop on this world tour of the Lego Group, as we will be delving deep into the heart of Bohemia, the Czech Republic, to visit our offices in the historic and beautiful Prague and our factory, which is nestled in the hillsides of Kladno. We will see you there in just a couple of days. Thanks, everybody.